my review of A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors. Now, I am going to have my phone because there are a lot of characters in here. So, you may notice on this table, there's no documentary. Well, that's because my thought is, you guys want to hear from the cast themselves. That's right, I had an opportunity to interview some of the cast in 2015. So, that's going to be put at the end of this video. And so, hopefully you all like it and enjoy it. So, why don't we get into A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors. My favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movie. So, Part 3, I remember our video store when I was a teenager, the VHSs of 3, 4, and 5 really caught my eye. So, I rented all of them. 3 was my favorite out of all of them. Out of those 3 anyway. But I guess technically this is kind of... It's Part 3, which is also a sequel to 1, but kind of starts its new trilogy. Starting with 4, which we'll get into next time. So I rented it, and I absolutely fell in love with it. Heather Langenkamp is back. And this is a Wes Craven movie, sort of. I say sort of because Wes Craven didn't direct it. I say sort of because Wes Craven didn't direct it, but he wrote it. The director is Rennie Harlan, I believe. Nope, sorry. Wes Craven didn't direct it, but he wrote it. Chuck Russell was the director. So, we have Heather Langenkamp back as Nancy. We have John Saxon back as her dad. I'm pretty sure. Yep. We have Heather Langenkamp back as Nancy, John Saxon back as her dad, and a whole new cast of characters. So, what's the story? If for those that you don't know, brief rundown. Patricia Arquette plays Kristen. She has the power to pull people into her dreams, and very stable. She has the power to pull people into her dreams, and the people that she pulls in are Kincaid, Joey, Taryn, Philip, and Will. So, Kincaid is played by Ken Sagos. He's a big football type guy. He reminds me of Juggernaut when he's in the dream world because he's just big and strong. Taryn, in her dream, she's beautiful and bad. She is a former drug addict, I would assume, especially by how she dies, and she has switchblades. Now, Will is a dungeon master, and he uses, like, electricity powers. So, the deaths are interesting. The deaths are interesting. I'm not going to go into huge detail about them. I'm going to tell you the two that stick out in my mind. Two that stick out in my mind are when Taryn dies because she has little, like, veins that have suckers, and Freddy injects drugs into her and kills her. The other one, well, I guess 3 deaths, because there's the other death that has always got to me was when Philip is being let out by his tendons. That has always got to me. Now, the 3rd death is a spoiler. So, it's a spoiler in a movie that came out in like 84, so at your will. I guess if you want to run away, do not listen to the spoiler. I'm giving you time now. Shut me off. And then come back for the interview. I'll put the time code back for when I'm done talking about it below. Okay. We're going to talk about it. Heather Langenkamp as Nancy dies in this. And that affected me because, wait, she came back for this one. And it reminds me a bit of Jamie Lee Curtis coming back for Halloween Resurrection just to die. I don't think that's why she came back, but it killed Nancy, and Nancy would never be seen again in a Nightmare on Elm Street series until Wes Craven's New Nightmare. But we'll get to that. So, what do I think of the movie? My favorite. I love it. This is my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street. The original ranks as number 2 because this is my all-time favorite. As a matter of fact, I have a poster autographed by most of the people from 3, a few from 4 and 5, but mostly 3. And I have my picture, which I will insert here. Again, my all-time favorite Nightmare on Elm Street. Do I recommend it? Hell yes. Stream it. Get the Blu-ray. Get the DVD. I know I said that there may be a bigger, better set coming, but you know what? For part 3, find it. There's even music videos for it. There is the music video for Dream Warriors by Dokken. Hear my review on Patreon if you're a patron of $1 or more. And I think Anything was part of this one, which will be toward the end of the series, and I'll explain why on Patreon. So, that is my take. That is my review on A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors. Stay tuned for the interviews I did with the cast from 2015.
And I'm here with Ira from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. How are you doing this week? Dream Warriors, yes.
Doing really good. Having a lot of fun.
Glad to hear. So, how did you get cast in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3?
So, in Nightmare on Elm Street 3, my manager at the time, Marilyn Sherman, he found Jimmy Smith and Forrest Whitaker. Had me go for the audition, and having already played Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that, it was like a no-brainer, really simple to audition for. Thank you. And so I had a bunch of callbacks, and I finally got the job, and super excited.
Awesome. Now, did you ever expect that Nightmare on Elm Street 3 or any of them would be as big as it is to host like a Nightmare reunion here in Indianapolis?
Never, man. I mean, when I worked on it, I remember getting scared, senseless at the first one when I was living in Tampa, Florida. It was really a scary deal. And an honor now to be a part of this whole franchise, especially after the passing of our creator, Wes Craven.
So,
yeah.
Do you have any upcoming projects?
I do. Please have everybody check out Code Black, which is going to be on CBS starting September 30th. It's an ER show with Mariska Hargitay, really good cast. Also working on a project with a friend of mine was Brandon Lee, Thursday's son. And we have Lou Diamond Phillips directing the project. We have Robbie Krieger from The Doors, who wrote our title song. So we're still in the process of getting money and making a movie.
All right, and how can people get a hold of you if they are interested?
They can go to Facebook and like the Ira Hyder fan page, and I receive all messages and I keep things up to date on there.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. No problem. Thank you.
Hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here with Ken Sagos, who played Kincaid in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. We are at Horror Hound Weekend. How are you doing this weekend?
I'm doing fine. I've had a great time here in Indiana. It's Part 3 and 4.
Oh, Parts 3 and 4. I did.
Yeah.
I remember that. Now, when you're at these conventions, your proceeds go to charity. Can you explain to the viewers what charity that is?
Yeah, it's a charity that I started in 1997 called the Giving Back Corporation, and I do it because when I was growing up as a kid, there was a lot of people that helped me, and as a child, I remember seeing the yellow bus go off, during the summer, kids going to camp, but we couldn't afford to go. And, when I went to college, I couldn't always afford my books, so I ended up having to leave college. And so I made a promise to a elderly lady who helped me and people who helped me along the way, and also God, that whenever I got to a place, I was going to also help somebody's child and help give back the way people gave back to me. So majority of all my proceeds that I make here at any convention goes back to the kids, to the youth in the community. And so far I've helped more than 150 kids in the community with their college education. And I've helped many by putting books and supplies in school, and not just in the Los Angeles area, but all over the United States, and even so far out of the country. I mean, I can send funds, but it helps me send young people notes, encouraging notes. So that's very important to me to give back.
That's actually very impressive and amazing. Now, how did you get the part in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3?
Oh,
Sorry.
the short version is that, you know, when they had the casting call, it was called a breakdown, and what they was looking for, I did not fit that character, so I was very upset at my agent for sending me out. And it just so happened to have been a day that I had to go to court. It just so happened to have been a day that it was raining like crazy, and so I, you know, had an attitude when I went in for the audition, and Chuck Russell and the casting director ended up saying, well, just do how you feel. And I kind of like tore the place up, so with an attitude. And I guess they thought I was acting, but I was just really releasing. But I, you know, we can tell them that. So, but then when I got home, the agent called me and asked me what the hell did I do, and he said they love me, and that's kind of how I got the role.
And were you surprised that you ended up surviving Part 3 and being in Part 4?
Oh yes, yes, and you know, as an African American, normally in a minority, we get killed. You know, the first one to get killed in a horror film, and we always running that crazy. So you know how, you know, I didn't expect to be there at the most 3 days. So you know, I just kept turning the page. And so I ended up going to the back page, and I said, "Oh, he's in the back too." So, so yeah, and I think by me playing the role of Kincaid, it gave hope to a lot of minorities. And because of as a dream warrior, my dream was to be strong, and not just strong physically, but strong mentally. So I credit that to Wes Craven, the late Wes Craven now, you know, for having the foresight to write something and give it to a minority, you know. And I also give credit to Chuck Russell, the director, who allowed me to expand my talent, you know, in saying, let me know what a young African American would do. And then at the other time, I have to give credit to the cast, because we all was really family. So when Freddy Krueger was after the group, he was really after a group of people who knew each other and felt compassion for each other.
Wow. So, are there any upcoming projects you're working on?
I
You can
just,
speak about?
well, yeah, I'm right now. You know, most people don't know it. They may know it now that I'm also an award-winning writer. I was a writer before I was an actor, and so now I'm trying to write a book. It's kind of like a book about a great migration, about a sparrow that's leading a great migration. I like to say that it's kind of like a cross between The Lion King and Harry Potter, you know, but it's in the bird world. And it's about a sparrow, like I said, leading a great migration.
Wow. Now,
And I'm still acting. I am not retired, so if there's any directors out there, yes, I'm asking for a job. So,
now, how can fans get a hold of you if they want to find you?
I'm on Facebook. You can reach me on Facebook, or you can go to my my organization has a Facebook. It's the Giving Back Corporation, not the Giving Back Foundation. That's another foundation. I was there first though, but It's the Giving Back Corporation, and that's www.gbc.givingbackcorporation.com, or just type in my name, Ken Sagos, and Giving Back Corporation, and it'll come up.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful last day here.
Yeah, and for everybody in Indiana, is wonderful.
So, that was the interviews. Hope you all enjoyed it. Next time, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. So remember to stay spooky, stay scary, take care. We'll see you next time for Part 4.